Caregivers, today's topic is holidays. As always, the information should not be used as a substitute for advice from appropriately qualified licensed practitioners of medicine, psychology, law, or financial planning. On the expanded disability scale, we're talking about a level 4, which is still self-sufficient. When we think about holidays as a caregiver, it's really important to actually look at the definition. And the definition is a day of festivity or recreation when no work is done. And I don't believe that most caregivers really understand that concept. So holiday should be something that you look forward to. It's something that gives meaning to life. As always, we'll link references and resources in the comment section below. For this particular video, it's good to talk to friends and family. So there's 8 things that I would recommend to try to reduce stress for the holidays for the caregivers. The first is to get a game plan and plan ahead. So for example, if the people are used to coming to your house for a particular holiday, you might want to make sure that they're aware that that's not really an option. The second is be realistic with what you want. Again, as a caregiver, it's really important to have respite and understand that you need your time and what your holiday should look like if you had your choice. Acknowledge your feelings, make sure that you're aware like the stress that you're dealing with, trying to please everybody and make everything happy around each particular event. If there are people that you have some differences with, you want to try to set those aside, just let them go. Focus on what the holiday is about, and that's just the joy that it should be bringing you. One way to do that is to learn to say no, which as caregivers, it's very, very hard. It's one of the things that you probably want to, make sure that everybody has a good time and you're a people pleaser, but especially when it comes to something that you might have like higher expectations, or you might set higher expectations on yourself than others do, you need to acknowledge that. The next one is sticking to a budget. So you might have a family where you have 2 incomes and you're used to giving very generous gifts or providing large family gatherings or events, and you might want to try to scale those down. Next is don't abandon your health. So a lot of times in December, that's when everything kind of comes to an end and you want to try to get as much of your appointments and things like that in there. So you want to make sure that you are giving yourself time for adequate rest and getting your checkups. And then lastly, it is good to reach out and volunteer. So if there's organizations that you feel really connected to and things like that, it is really nice to get some volunteer time in. And if you have somebody that's disabled, you might not be able to party till 2 a.m. in the morning. So when you think about holidays, it's really easy to get caught up in what you think is the perfect life and what the perfect holiday should be. But there's a quote from Anne Frank, which I think sums it up. And it's, I don't think that of all the misery, but I think of the beauty that still remains. And with that, it's important to really just look at what you have to be grateful for and look at all the different people that don't have what you have in the world. And really, there's another saying that's, 1,000 people would trade problems with me. So think about it in those terms, and hopefully that will help. So for the Plan, Do, Check Act, it's important to really plan in advance for the holidays and don't feel obligated to host on caretaking duties. Just make sure that people realize that your roles have changed and you have more on your plate. Do communicate and set aside differences, and don't be afraid to set limits and ask others for help. There's probably people out there that really want to help, but they just don't know how. And then check to see if they'll offer us the help and thank them appropriately for their efforts. I can't implore you to do that enough. Again, there's people that you'll find that are really, really helpful if you just let them. And then act to determine what gives you joy and what makes the moments worthwhile during the year, and reflect on those each passing holiday. So in conclusion, with a quote from Tom Baudet, they say a person needs 3 things to truly be happy in this world: someone to love, something to do, and something to hope for. And I hope that you enjoy every passing holiday and this helps. Please take care of yourself and subscribe for future videos.